Hello, everybody. Greetings, 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 everyone on Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube. Today is the last live Q&A for the membership launch special. The whole purpose of the Q&As this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, is to answer your questions, to give you an idea of the kind of information you can find on the membership platform, and to also provide some value just in case if you do not want to join up for a membership, that's totally fine as well. I am always here to provide value because that is where I feel the maximum reward in my own life. Okay, so that's why I'm here. Today, we will be answering a couple of questions. You are welcome to add your questions into the comments at any point regarding dance and or fitness. Today, for now, my monthly live chat happens at the beginning of every month. Currently, the schedule is for Wednesdays at 12 p.m. If that should change, of course, you'll be notified, but otherwise, you can expect that in not next week, but the week after. So, for those of you who are joining for the first time, who have not been joining for the other live chats this week, as always, let me know where you're joining from. Throw a wave into the chat. Tell me your city, tell me your country. I always like to know that. Even if you're a repeat person who joins all the time, I see you, Ahmed, from Egypt in the house. Throw it into the comments. It's always nice to see how international our audience and our community is, even though I know it's quite international. So, quick little update. I've had a membership platform, online courses and online memberships for the past year at least. Online courses for much, much longer than that, but online membership at least for the past year. And I would have loved to have stayed with that previous platform, but they had upload limits and it kind of made it a little bit difficult to continue with it. So I have been working on that for the past few months and getting all of that content moved over, categorizing it, making sure that it is intuitive, that it's easy to navigate, that it makes sense to all of you, that it still provides tons and tons of value. And with this new platform, I have been able to add a lot more to the memberships. So the dance membership itself now also includes a beginner salsa 1 course, the combination membership, which I would say is the best membership only because a lot of you who admire me or want to get a little bit of me into your dancing or into your life or into your presence, I would say don't necessarily understand how much it's a holistic approach. It's not just about dance. It's not just a focus on learning to dance and expressing myself on the dance floor. It is about making sure that I'm the best at what I can be in all aspects of my life. And one of the ways that I do that is through training fitness, making sure that my health is taken care of, because when my health wanes, everything wanes. And so I found that fitness in general and my training regimen personally, specifically, because it's quite unique and quite interesting to say the least. The people who have joined me for my workouts in the past have cried and done a good sweat, but also laughed their ass off. So my specific training in particular is what I would attribute not just to my dancing, to being able to have endurance on the dance floor, to being flexible, to move, and to also be strong enough to withstand any type of rough leads or rough followers, but also just for sanity, for the sake of sanity, to have a routine that I know is doing something good for me and is benefiting my life and benefiting my health, and then as a result, benefiting everyone else around me. So that combo membership is available as well. If you are on Facebook or on YouTube, you should be able to see the code at the bottom, the website as well, learn.magnagopal.com. I added 2 more codes actually. So if you want to get the yearly membership, you can use Dance Year or Combo Year and get the biggest discount possible there with the yearly membership. Or if you want to try it out for a month, you can also use Dance Month or Combo Month and get access to all of that content there. Okay, so there's workouts, there's full class replays. The tutorials are all categorized by fundamentals, turns and spins, footwork, body movement, mindset, drills, exercises, stretch and strength. Like, everything is there. Okay, and if there's anything else that you need or would like me to break down, you can always ask me. Okay, content I put out there in general, whether it's instructional, courses, my live chats. The whole purpose at the end of the day is to provide value to all of you in some way or another. So the more you communicate with me and let me know what it is that you want or what it is that you're struggling with, the better I can actually address those concerns and address those struggles. Cool. So, just saying hello to the people here. Ahmed said hi from beside the Cairo pyramids. Oh, showing off now, are we? Okay. Got Anna in the house, Antonia, Molly, Sherry Hurd, Laura. Also, cool, cool, cool. Oscar in the house from Venezuela, living in Spain. Beautiful. Barcelona. I've never been there. Gotta go there one day. I have been to Malaga though. I love Malaga. Okay, so today's live chat is going to be a quick one. My monthly live chats, where we have usually a general topic, tend to be a little bit longer, an hour to an hour and a half. Today, I'm just going to try and address a couple of the questions that I got, ideally 15 to 20 minutes. So if you have other questions, please feel free to put it into the chat, into the comments. If you're on Instagram, if you can add it into that little question mark for the comments, that way it won't get sent away in the scroll. Okay, I can find that a little bit easier. Facebook and YouTube comments are fine because I can see that right here on my laptop. Okay, so first question. This is from Nancy Tiara on Instagram. This was yesterday. I wasn't able to get to you yesterday, but I told you I would get to you today. How to hit musicality when your leader is in the flow of crazy turn patterns and glued to your hands. Um, this is a very interesting topic and an interesting question, and a unique approach that I can offer to it is it always comes back. I know I sound like a broken record at some points, right? But it always comes back to your fundamentals. Why do I keep stressing that? Because if you don't know your timing, how do you become musical? How can you play with the music and still be dancing this dance with your partner if you don't understand timing, right? If you don't understand the fundamentals of connection with your partner, how can you use your body to interpret the music? Interpreting the music with your body requires you to understand the fundamentals of connection with your partner because you're trying to do something of your own within that partner work relationship, that partner work connection. So, most of the time, what I find is our emphasis when it comes to learning something, especially as it pertains to musicality, is mostly a self-guided path, a solo path, where we're thinking about what we can do with our bodies, how we would want to hit something, how we would want to accent something. Now, this is all beautiful, but then we get to the same question that Nancy brought up, which is how do you end up expressing yourself musically when your partner is holding on to you and just going through pattern after pattern and holding on to your hands, is glued to your hands? Because the way we're practicing musicality is only in a solo fashion. We are not practicing our musicality within our connection, right? And I always say this to all my students, especially, like some loud cars out here, is that you can you can learn whatever you're learning in a classroom setting. That's great. That is a good place to start. That is a good, safe environment for the most part to start your learning. And it's good because you know who you're going to be interacting with, you know the floor, you know the space, you know your instructor. The more comfortable you get, the easier it becomes for you to express yourself. But ultimately, the reason you even went to that school and started taking classes was not to just go to class and do the moves over and over or new moves with the same people. The purpose was to learn and to get tools and skills that you can then take onto the social dance floor and do with random strangers, right? Is to be able to execute that connection that you're able to create with your fellow student in a safe environment of the classroom, which you're constantly a part of, and be able to replicate that connection with someone on a social dance floor, someone who you might have never met, right? So It is important to learn. It is important to practice, but you need to find ways to practice in the environment within which you're actually training for. Okay? That's the best way to put it. So, your musicality, it's nice to want to be musical, and maybe you are musical. Maybe you hear the music and there's so many things in the music that you are like, "Ooh, I can hit this and I can hit that and I can do all of this footwork when I am dancing by myself, when I'm just doing my own shines or my own body movement." But if that's all you're practicing, that's the only thing you're really going to be good at. If you don't actually try and think of musicality and your expression to the music as a lead and as a follow, this is not just limited to followers feeling like they're trapped to the lead. Leads can also feel that, being trapped to the follow and wanting to do something, but feeling like the follower's not capable of holding her own or would not be able to follow that. So, if you're truly wanting to be musical within your connected partner work, you have to attempt things within that partner work. You have to start looking at musicality and see what can be created within the partner work connection. So, one of the ways that I like to look at it, and I post a lot of these videos on my Instagram and Facebook Reels and stuff, these small clips that can show you how to interpret the music. It might not be a big movement. It might not be this jazzy, razzy dazzle, whatever type of movement. It might be something small. But why am I being musical? Am I being musical so that everyone else can see that I'm being musical, or am I being musical because that's what I hear and that's what I feel and that's what I want to express? So if you watch my social dance videos, and there are tons of them on YouTube and Instagram and everywhere, but really on YouTube, there's tons of them. If you watch those musical elements that are inserted into the dance within my partner work are often quite subtle, but they are sufficient for me to feel satisfaction that I was able to hear something in the music and connect with it without disrupting the connection with my partner. Now, how do I do that? It's because I start to compartmentalize my body in the dance. Okay. So if this is going to be the tip of the day, is to learn how to compartmentalize your body in the dance, which means there is a part of my body that is connected to my partner that provides the resistance, the tension, the handhold, the feedback to my partner, that I am here, that I am present, that I am ready for whatever my partner wants to do. And then there's another part of me that has a little bit more freedom to hear the music and interpret the music. And that will depend that, or rather, that will change depending on where we are in the connection, where we are in the movement, the pattern, and where we are in the music or on the dance floor. Sometimes the part that's actually free is my arm. It could be one arm because my partner is connected to the other arm. Sometimes, and most of the time, it's my legs. All right. My feet are free. My partner is holding on to my hands, either in a closed position or an open position, and my feet are free to interpret however they want to interpret it. So if you limit yourself to just your basic step, well, you're limiting your options to being musical. Who says that your basic step has to be 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7? The whole point of your basic step, once you understand it, is to be able to stay on time, to get back on time, to be able to leave the timing if you need to play with the music, which is a slightly different time, to get back to that timing. But ultimately, your basic step is just a way, a path that is created in this dance for us to move from A to B. Okay. It is just a structure, it is a guidance. Okay. It is not a hard rule as far as I'm concerned. It's not a hard rule. Okay. Unless you're in a competition, a dance competition, then it is a hard rule. And that's one of the reasons why I don't compete. I'm pretty sure I'd be disqualified in preliminary rounds, just like, where the fuck is our basic? Right. Anyways, point is, you want to be able to look at your basic step in a slightly different way. Your basic step is a structured way for this dance for you to get from A to B. There are many ways for you to get from A to B. If you want to stick to the timing and hear just that beat and hear just your basic, then you step, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and you get into your crossbody lead. If, however, you hear something different in the music that you want to interpret, there's no reason, there's nothing stopping you from, instead of doing 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, you could just do one, ba, 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 and then still end up where you need to be. except now you had a chance to do something with your feet. Now, if musicality to you is all about how big you can be and how many people can see what you're doing, then I'm sorry to say, but I don't think you've got your intention right, because ultimately this dance should be about self-expression, and it should be about what we feel. And what we feel does not need to be a big huge statement that is on a megaphone screamed out at the world. What we feel is something that we should be able to do small little tiny things and know that we did it and feel like, wow, that felt great. Okay. So if you're looking for that big display of your musicality, then you might not always have that opportunity, right? Unless your partner completely lets you go. However, if you're just trying to be musical, if you hear something in the music and you want to interpret that in the music, well, then start to compartmentalize your body during your connection with your partner. This goes for both people, both followers and leaders. Okay. There's a part that needs to be connected, and this needs to have a certain engagement and a certain tension with your partner. But the other part of it, usually your legs, there are so many things that you can do that will not interfere with the connection, because you're still going from A to B as your partner had requested. You're just doing a little hippity skippity whatever, getting there, instead of just sticking to your 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Um, Another question. Let's get on here. So Ahmed, I actually answered your question on Wednesday. It was on Facebook. As I mentioned, I was going to be going live on Facebook, so I got your question there. So you can check out that replay. It's actually on YouTube as well. YouTube will probably be a better place to watch that. Giancarlo, there's always a controversy between musicality on 1 and on 2. What do you think about it? Interesting question. Excellent question. Thank you for sharing. I don't know about controversy about musicality on 1 or on 2. I think there's on 1 and on 2, and stylistically and timing wise, in terms of how we do our basic and what count we break on. And obviously there are other dances as well, Cuban and whatnot, that have a slightly different timing element to the basic step. Musicality, however, is about the music. Um, I don't really categorize that as musicality on 1 or musicality on 2. When I'm teaching classes, whether it's on 1 or on 2, if I'm teaching something that's about musicality, I am usually working with a song. And maybe we do a basic on 1, but once we start hitting the song, we start hitting the song. It's not about that rigidity of our basic step and our basic timing that dictates what I do to the music. Whether I'm dancing on 1 or on 2, what I feel to the music is what I'm going to try to interpret to the music. So I'm not sure if that's answering your question, Giancarlo, but I would say the controversy, I don't think it makes sense to have controversy about musicality on 1 and on 2, because musicality is more about the music. On 1 and on 2 is about the timing of the dance. Now, the controversy between on 1 and on 2, as far as the timing of the dance is concerned, I think is pretty silly, to be honest. Okay. The reason I think it's silly is because a lot of the moves that you do on 1, you do on 2, right? Maybe there's a slightly different feel to the way you dance onto to the music, in terms of the downbeats or the upbeats that you're hitting. Like when you're dancing on 1, the dominant beat is that downbeat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and those are kind of the counts that we're hitting. When we're dancing on 2, we're still hitting those same beats, but where we change direction, where we break, right, changes in direction, are not on the 1. So it's on the 2, which is kind of that upbeat, which makes, when we're dancing on 2, a kind of softer, more bouncy, more grounded feel, versus on 1, which feels more punctuated in our breaks. So when we're doing, for example, if this is my dancing on 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and I'm hitting that 1, it's really strong when I'm changing the direction. Whereas when I'm dancing on 2, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, there's a slight ability to kind of make that 1, 2 pushing off of that to be a little bit softer. Now, the other element that contributes to a different feel when you're dancing on 1 versus dancing on 2 in your basic step, and why there might be controversy as to which is better, is the time that you have in the change in direction. And that's really what allows you to create more movement in your breaks. So our break is where we are changing direction. So if you're dancing on one, you're breaking on one and on five. If you're dancing on two, you're breaking on two and on six. Okay. So in terms of that, when you're dancing on one, you are continuing your movement forward. Okay. So the pause, which happens at 4 and 8, right? So we have 1, 2, 3. We're going forward, forward, forward. Then there's that little bit of a pause before we hit 5, 6, 7, and we start going backward. Now, where the pause occurs and the direction that you're traveling kind of determines what you have room to play with. When we're dancing on two, we have 1, 2, 3. So we're kind of changing our footwork, changing the direction in our feet before that pause. So we could actually play with that movement, pushing off of that two and hang out because we're not required to be anywhere on four. Okay. So it would be better to demonstrate it, but it is really, really hot in here and I don't really feel like dancing right now. I'd be glad to make a video of that for those of you who join the platform, and I will upload that for you. But that's one of the ideas in terms of what the dance feels like when you're dancing on one versus dancing on two. On one, your pause happens during your continuity of direction. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're still going forward after that three. Okay, whereas on two, when you're dancing on two, your pause happens after a change in direction. 1, 2, change in direction. 3, pause. So I can play a lot more with a change in direction than I can with a continuity of movement. Okay, you can just do that even if you're stepping, walking forward, and try and kind of even move your hips as you're just walking forward versus walking forward and changing your direction and pausing and moving your hips. You have a lot more range of movement just because of where that pause occurs based on the change in direction of your body as well as the position of your feet. So I don't think that's really a controversy. I just think it's a preference. And when it comes to preferences, everyone has their preference and everyone is entitled to their preference. If you do not like dancing with somebody who dances a different time than you, by all means, say no when they ask. And if you want to actually enjoy this dance and the nature of it, which is really about building connections with people all around the world of all different backgrounds and different styles of dancing, then you say yes and you figure it out. And you try and adapt what you know to what your partner knows and focus on the connection first and foremost, instead of focusing on the fact that you have a difference, right? We can always find things that we are different with, that are different between us and other people. It is about how we approach those differences that determine what kind of relationships we build. If we make those differences the dominant factor in that relationship, well, we create a rift. But if we make those differences something beautiful that can bridge that gap, that can open doors to learning and open doors to connection because we're now curious about those differences, then we build relationships. Um, so that would be my comment on that too. Excellent question. Thank you very much. I don't know how well I explained this with my finger dancing, but I can definitely create something a little bit longer and a full body breakdown of that in the future. Remember, check out learn.magnagopal.com. There are 2 memberships available right now, a dance membership with all these tutorials broken down by category, with lots more to be added. The reason I changed platforms was because there was an upload limit on the previous platform. Now I don't have any upload limit, so I can literally add as much as I want. And that is my goal, is to take all of this information up here and in my body and put it out into the world for all of you so you can also benefit from it. Okay. The combo membership, as I mentioned, includes everything in the dance membership plus 60 days of workouts, plus 4 meditative workouts and stretches with readings, as well as a Q-Fit bonus, which is all the variations that I create to workouts, as well as anything that I've been doing for PT, self PT, basically. I had a lot of injuries in my life, and through dance and through working out and just being a little goofball. And these are the ways and the exercises and the specific movements that I did to train myself and nurse myself back to health. So I'm including all of that on this platform. I wasn't able to do that with the previous platform, but now I finally can. So combo membership is available for you to have access to all of that. Okay. Again, there are four codes that you can use now. Okay. If you get the yearly membership, that is the best deal. You can use the code, dance year. Okay. YEAR, or combo year for the combo membership, and you will get it at the lowest price possible. Otherwise, if you want to try it out for a month, you can also use the combo dance month or combo month. And as I mentioned before, everything that is on the platform. If you have any comments, you can always write them into the comments in the video. If you have any questions, add them there as well. If there's anything else that you want me to break down or explain, send me a message. I am here for you. Okay. You can message me, DM me on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, or send me an email through my website, magnagopal.com. Yeah, basically, that's what I'm here for. And that is what this membership is here to serve you as well. Okay. Quality, detailed, informative instruction, both for dance and for fitness. And I'm certain 100% that if you join and you stick to it, of course, there is that element too, right? It's not just about showing up, but it's about how you show up, right? Like your dedication. If you join this membership and you actually put some time and effort into both the dancing and the fitness training, I promise you, in a year, you're going to be in a totally different place. And like I said, there's more added regularly. So you'll keep on getting more and more and more. Okay. With that, I think we are set for today. Today was our last live Q&A for the launch special. I will be posting more information about this on my platforms through this weekend and into next week. The discount that's available is a limited time offer. So if you are planning on checking that out, use the codes dance month, dance year, or combo month, combo year. Before middle of August. August 15th will be the last day for that. Okay. And don't forget to sign up to my mailing list as well, which you can do from my website, magnagopal.com. That's where I send all of this information about my live chats, my monthly live chats, updates on content, updates on blog posts, and all of that information. So I look forward to seeing you all very soon, and hopefully in 2 weeks, August 3rd. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, August 3rd will be our next monthly live chat, which will also be done in the same fashion: Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. And I'm still thinking about the topic that I'd like to do. Feel free to submit some suggestions or ask questions. I can always cater to all of you. Okay. Have a lovely, lovely day. And I have a lovely weekend. And thank you for sitting it out with me here. And thank you for the excellent question. And glad that the finger dancing and the explaining made sense. Have a good one, guys.